Welcome to AutoFix Pal. Today I'm going to attempt to machine a groove into sockets for color identification. I'm going to machine a groove into there and then fill that groove with a color coded paint like red, blue, green, orange, so on and so forth, so that I can easily identify the sockets while they're laid out on the cart. One of the biggest things that wastes time as a mechanic is trying to find the right size socket when you have a whole bunch of tools sitting on your cart and the socket just happens to be laid down on the side where you can't see the number markings. And so what I'm going to do is machine a groove into the side, fill that groove with paint, and hopefully it'll last a long time, and I can easily identify the sockets, save a little bit of time while I'm doing a job, and, save some frustration and aggravation because it's very frustrating and aggravating digging through 13 different size sockets, trying to find the right size. So let's get started with that. I'm gonna try and stay out of the shot, but can't promise you anything. Okay. Got a 3-jaw chuck on this lathe. I'm gonna put the groove closest to the top, closest to the square drive portion of the socket. Make sure it's nice and tight. Machine on. I'm going to no, isn't quite reddish, but we'll see how. Alright, let's see if we can get you close up so you can see what's going on here. Let's back up. Yeah, let's go from this side. Much better. You can see my socket in here. Let's turn it off. That's my socket. It's a 9/16 socket. What I'm going to do is cut a little groove around that edge where you can see the tip. My cutting bit. You can see that close to the edge. I don't want it that close to the edge. Just move it forward a little bit right there. Right there. Yeah, that looks good. Cut a little groove there, and then I'm going to fill that groove with paint. Let's start it up. Hopefully I can cut it with this bit. It's kind of hard and still. Let's go slow, see what we get. Yeah, there we go. Let's see what we got here. I think each one of those lines is 1/1000th of an inch, I believe. So let's take off 4/1000ths. Let's bring it to that 10. Yeah, that looks right. Let's see what the groove looks like. Yeah, that's a nice size groove. Alright, so let's widen that groove a little bit. I want to make it a little deeper. Go a few more thousandths in. Just cutting it nicely. Alright, now I'm going to start to walk it down with this wheel here to widen the groove. That should be good enough. Okay. Now let's back it out. Turn it off. And let's show you the results. This is what we have. Need some contrast so you can get a better idea. There you go. Got a nice groove around the edge of that socket. We want to fill that groove with some paint, and we'll do that to the rest of the sockets and test it out at work. See how it works up. See how the paint holds up in that groove, and make things easier for me to identify the sockets. Alright, so this is the finished result. I started to fill in the little gap that I machined out with fingernail polish. This purple polish here, or whatever color, blue. I think it's purple. I started to fill it in with that purple nail polish, but it was taking too long to dry. I'm impatient. So what I did was I heated the socket up with a propane torch, little mini torch right here. This little thing here. Heated it up a little bit, and then I sprinkled some powder coating powder on top of it into the groove, and it pretty much melted and went right into the groove right away, which is what I wanted. And then I stuck this back into the lathe and just sanded off the excess, and it left a nice that's supposed to be a what color is that? It's a gray, gunmetal gray is what they call it. It's supposed to be a gunmetal gray, but it looks a little more black with that little bit of amount there anyway. But anyway, you get the idea. You know, you have this socket sitting on your tray, you can easily identify the black as the 9/16. And I also sanded off the black finish. I mean, you don't have to take off the finish, but that's what I did because you're not going to see that ring with the black finish. That's going to be impossible to see. And this is just a socket that I'm using to experiment with. So I don't really care how it looks. I mean, I polished it up as well. It looks pretty good because I polished it, but you get the idea. And that's what we have. That's what I'm going to do with the rest of my sockets. I'm going to bring a set of sockets that I have at work. I'm going to bring it home and machine it, and you know, put a colored band around it. I'm going to try another socket using the nail polish because that's a little easier to work with. I mean, it's not difficult to work with the powder coat, but it's cheaper. I have it around the house because my wife, and she'll be mad. Just don't tell her, you know, I took her nail polish, but she won't miss a little bit of it. There's a lot of different colors to choose from. Powder coat is kind of expensive to buy, like 18 different colors. I mean, I can get a few common colors at Harbor Freight, and it should work out just fine, but I would have to order a whole bunch of different colors, and I don't know if they sell it in quantity small enough for what I need it for. So I'm just going to try the nail polish. If that doesn't work out, then I'll just order the powder coat and, you know, powder coat that little ring and then sand it off. And it should probably be more durable with the powder coat anyway. But that's what you got. That's what you end up with. That looks pretty good.